Yo, what's going on, guys? Guys, what's going on? I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute, but we got a good show today. We got man, this is gonna be good. So make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure y'all go to YouTube, hit that like button. But before I do, I got to give my shout outs. Then we go bring Coach Briggs on here. We go get into it. And guys, if y'all have questions for Coach Briggs, go ahead and drop your questions. We'll get those answered as well. But I want to shout out to my guys. Boom. CTFCA, major sponsor of my show. Shout out to my guys over there. They doing some major things. Make sure you go to the next clinic coming up, the winter clinic. It was always a fun time there with those guys. Shout out to them. Shout out to my guys over there at Track Born. I got to shout them guys out. If you need anything related to track and field, holler at my guys over there. Holler at them. They get you squared away. But hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get this show popping, guys. Let's tap in. Let's bring Coach on. What's up, Coach?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Man, just out here living the best life and enjoying track and loving that track is bubbling right now. Loving this whole thing.
Man, yeah. It's definitely man. It's been exciting, man, with the trials going on and Paris coming up. Then you got AAU, USATF, the Junior Olympics coming up. Man, man, it's tracking good now.
Yeah,
track,
it's in right
tracking,
now.
yeah, tracking is definitely good right now. But thank you for coming on the show. Always a fan favorite for sure. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Yeah, my name is Keinan Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. What that means is I help educate athletes and parents through sports to create opportunities. So basically, I went through it through my career, through every single situation, and I've created solutions to help speed up your process to getting to where you want to get to, and create a lot of resources and having fun the whole way through.
Yeah. If they want to get in contact with you, if they're interested in, the things you do, what's the best way?
You can check out leapsquadacademy.com or you can DM me if you're on Instagram. But those be the main two, or you can email me at info@keenanbriggs.com. And if you go to YouTube, you'll find me. Type in triple jump. You're going to find one of my videos, and you'll be able to research that. But yeah, info@keenanbriggs.com or leapsquadacademy.com.
Cool. Yeah, if y'all to get that, we'll get that. We're gonna say it throughout the show, and
Okay.
I'll type it in the comments as well. Do you have any upcoming clinics, clinics, mentor clinics, or anything like that in the works?
Not just yet. Right now, I'm finishing up this year. I just finished my Jump 101 live, which was a virtual camp. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to put this together last minute, and it was great. Had a great turnout and got a lot of information out. And I'm going to fix a couple of things that I feel can kind of be a little bit more streamlined, but I'm going to be holding those more often. It allows access for athletes to learn, on the go. A lot of times athletes are looking to learn a lot of things, and it's hard to fly out to California or different states for a great camp. This is the way to learn and educate yourself on the specifics of the jumps and get yourself in place. So that's where I'm at now. And then I'm pretty sure next year, Coach Kenny, um, Coach, where is he at? Out in Florida. Um, Drawing a blank right now. Oh my gosh, I should not be drawing a blank with him, but it'll come back to my head. But I've known him for 15, 20 years. But
Right.
um, but it was just a great experience, and being able to be a part of that was great. So as of right now, personally, not yet, but I'll be setting up for the 25 season.
Now, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I knew you was down here for that job clinic. You even hollered, but it's all right though. It's all right. I knew you was down here with Jump Smart and Coach Kenny, but man, that's a group, good group of kids, man. Um, I always appreciate you coming down and help putting that clinic on or whatnot.
You know,
Uh, yeah,
I
go
will
ahead.
say this, right? So this was my first year traveling out to other coaches, camps and supporting them, right?
Uh-huh.
And so a lot of the athletes were from Texas. And I'm talking to them, and they're kids. So they're 13, 14, 15, just very respectful, just nice kids. I'm like, man, these are
Uh-huh.
good kids, this. And then a couple of them were like really timid. And I was like, how far do you long jump? Like, oh, I'm an eighth grader. And how far do you long jump? Okay, I jumped 19.5. I'm like, yo, like, oh, I just had a football game. I'm a freshman. How far do you jump? 25. I'm like, yo, Texas athletes eat something different. And I'm from California. We're also very competitive, but man, at the user level, there's a lot of talent, and it just the kids seem so down to earth, so humble, so
Yeah.
grounded, just great, just great athletes, great people,
Hmm.
and I think that creates this a great sport because when you have great people, it makes the sport that much more fun. So
Yeah. Yeah. They man, it's it, you see it. If people only knew.
yeah,
People only knew, man. And it was crazy about Coach Kenny, man. You can pull probably the top 20 girls in the nation, man, and that guy is more than likely been taught this.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Brad
Uh,
Vaccaro. Brad Vaccaro. I want to make sure because I've known him for so long. I don't know why I drew a blank, but
uh,
Brad Vaccaro, out of Naples, Florida, invited me out and got to meet another group of great kids. And
okay,
yeah, he's over at the Naples High School in Florida.
okay, okay, cool,
Yeah, or a
cool,
school
cool,
in
cool.
Naples, not Naples High School, but a school in Naples.
Let's see, Egypt dad said 1A and 6A. Yeah, it's loaded, man. Yeah, it's man. I already know.
Yeah.
Already. That's why man. Yeah, we gonna get to the show in a second, guys. But they're like, hey, UIL down here, man. Dude, it is crazy, man. And
hmm
like that district meet is like the regional meet, and the regional meet is like doggone state meet, man.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's wild. It is wild. It is wild for sure. Um, so that I seen this on your IG, 3 steps to a successful track meet, uh, to a successful national meet. Can you
hmm
just click on that a little bit and tell us about it?
Yeah, so I'm a person that I'm always looking for solutions. Like if I notice something, okay, what 10 ways can I create solutions for? And I'm watching athletes and I'm seeing athletes at Nike Nationals, specifically that's where I was, and I'm seeing some athletes not perform at their best ability, you know. And then I was like, man, I see the effort they're putting into this event, right? And then we go to the trials, and I also see professionals, just fall short of their goals. And I'm just like, okay, there's got to be a solution, towards obviously in track and field is really, really cutthroat, but it's got to be solutions. So I said to myself, what is it that athletes are experiencing? You know, and it's a mixture of sometimes you just got beat. You're prepared, everything's exactly how it's supposed to be. Your race plan was perfect, just someone else had a better plan. And I watched an athlete, I don't think her name's important, but I watched her in the long jump, and you can tell, which is flustered by the whole environment, you know,
Mhm.
and step was off, just had a hard time and ran and didn't step right and then stopped on the actual runway to run back and then try to
Mhm.
run again and then still messed up and realized she only had a couple seconds left to run. And I was like, that's 100% just an internal thing, you know? So what we as coaches get to do is prepare the athletes for the environment, for the scenario, prepare the athlete for the emotions that are going to go
Mhm.
through it. So I forget the exact order of them, but I do know, being mentally prepared to the space you're going into is huge. And sometimes you can't mimic that, but you can put yourself in the best situation.
So
So yeah,
let me ask you, Coach, because I'm gonna stop you, while you're talking
yeah,
and just throw my little 2 cents in. I'm not. Let me put this disclaimer here, guys. I'm not a professional coach. Like, This is everything I say is from a parent's perspective. Uh, that's what it is. That's what it is. So how can a coach recognize that their athlete, just say they're at a big meet, and this athlete is they just can't get it together mentally? How can a coach recognize that behavior?
Honestly, it's going to come down to trial and error. Put an athlete in a very challenging event and watch how they respond. We know that there are athletes that are just dogs. You put them into an environment, they're
Yeah,
going to eat.
yeah,
Other
yeah.
athletes, you just know, okay, they're going to step up, but we got to kind of get them going. So looking at certain meets, the meets you have within your youth
Yeah.
season, high school season that are going to be a challenge, right? And that's
Mhm,
why we use the preseason to kind of establish that. You might go to a local invitational that has some dogs at the meet,
mhm,
and it's like, okay, how'd they perform? Were they eating correctly? Did they apply these things? You know, um, and then from there, it's just like once you see that, the next part is simply talking to the kids. There are so many times that athletes aren't comfortable speaking to their coaches
mhm.
because of either the age difference or the coach is always wearing the hat of coach. Sometimes you got to take that hat off for a second and put on a friend hat on and just have a conversation. And when the athlete is comfortable with you, then the athlete will tell you exactly what is going on versus just bits and pieces. Sometimes we get too much information. I don't want to hear all that, but I'd
Mhm,
rather hear too much than too little because we're supposed to be here to be their support and guidance,
mhm.
and we can't
Eh,
guide if we don't know what's going on.
So do you believe that parents can put too much pressure on their kid, on their athlete, especially at the big meets, like before they even get to the meet? Riding in the car, riding to the meet. You
Yeah.
know? Do you think? Because I've done it. When my
Hmm.
daughter was smaller. I am guilty of I am guilty of that, but I found out real quick it wasn't worth it. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
The answer is yeah. And many times it's on accident. Because we love our kids. We want to see them in the best case scenario, right? And we don't
Yeah,
want to be in a car with a highly competitive athlete that just lost,
yeah, yeah,
especially when the car ride is more than 30 minutes, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, sometimes we'll accidentally put a pressure on them. Even something simple, like I heard this and I was like, such as, hey, if you jump this distance or run this speed or this time, we'll get ice cream after. So now the pressure is actually indirect of I have to run fast or jump far to get ice cream to be rewarded with something,
Now wait a
you
minute,
know.
coach. Those Happy Meals bring those medals back. Those Happy Meals. Hey, parents, come on now. Come on. That Happy Meal. This is what you got to do. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're
So I mean,
right.
obviously in situations it does work, you know,
Yeah,
um, but then it becomes a tangible expectation.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it's your first national meet. What does that mean? Just go experience it, make some friends,
yeah,
have a specific goal or intention for that meet. I'm not saying don't motivate the kids with stuff, but a Chipotle, yep.
yeah.
But but it's just like if we add in, okay, ice cream for PRing, but also ice cream for stepping up and making sure that you're consistent with your jumps. Maybe having a positive attitude this whole meet. Stop putting your head down. Like other ways to get wins in versus just I have to beat these people. Those people have the same goals too.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
out. So
yeah, yeah. So positive reinforcement, pretty much.
yeah.
Don't just do it for they got first place or whatever, but just say if they progressed on something, they got better. Kind of try to reward it because they lost a race. Of course, they're gonna be down about it. But if they improved on something in that race, hey, reward them. Reward them. I
Yeah.
definitely get it. So it was three steps in that. So was that the first step or second step?
I don't even remember. Let me look it up
I
because I
know.
have it. Hey, sometimes I just go out and post and forget what I put. Um, oh man.
Yeah,
Okay,
guys,
here it
y'all
is.
got questions? Go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Okay, I got it here. So the first one is just arrive early. Give yourself 2 to 3 days would be ideal, but obviously with some meets doesn't make sense, because parents are usually driving the athletes there and back. But if you can arrive early enough to kind of get used to the weather, I already know mentally I'll be in Texas next week. It's about to be hot and very humid. So I'm just preparing myself for that. I'm making sure that I get liquids in me. And that's just as a coach. As an athlete, you should be preparing for, okay, what time should I arrive? All those things. And if you are there a day early, make sure that you are walking the premises, see what's around, right? If there's mosquitoes, then you might want to make sure you're prepared for mosquitoes. Like, see the facility where it's at, like all those little details just to receive information so that when you're competing, you have this information that's a reminder versus brand new, right? Because you don't want to be in a brand new environment. If you can Google Earth the way the track is laid out, then that's a way to kind of get an advantage there. Um, the second one was the warm-ups situation. So at national meets, they're really, really organized. Nike Nationals, Adidas, New Balance, they will have a separate call time. If you haven't been to Nike Indoor Nationals or at the Armory, it's a madhouse. It's chaos. You're literally trying to warm up in a 2-lane strip hallway. And if you're not used to that, it's going to be emotional because it's a lot, right? So basically, you want to make sure that you're warmed up. You know how long you have between your warm up time and call time. If you're in the first flight, you know that you need to be warmed up prior to that start. If you're in the last flight, you don't want to warm up at 11 o'clock to jump at 3. You want to just know these things and make sure that you're ahead of time when it comes to scheduling.
And I think that's a lot of pressure on the coach too, man. Man, should I warm this athlete up now, or should I wait another 10 minutes? Or man,
Mm-hmm.
that's y'all have a stressful job. y'all
Yeah.
have a stressful job because you don't know. You got an idea, but
Yeah.
you just don't know. But yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Even at like U20s, um, Nike Nationals, they'll have a warm up time and then a call time, and then they'll move you to another place. Then you're there for a while, and then you'll be walked out to your actual event. So you can easily warm up 3 times on accident and end
Yeah,
up tired.
yeah.
So just being aware of how the warm up time is scheduled and the call times.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
So
Cool. Cool.
that's one thing I think that happens a lot is the
Hmm.
over warm up situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the last one we kind of covered just about being intentional with, your expectations.
Hmm.
If your goal is to be the world champion, okay, then great. Plan from there backwards. If your goal is this is my first time, I don't have my coach here with me, have the intention of like, I'm going to learn as much as I can because I'm a freshman. Whatever the intentions are, have those written down and set again outside of just the tangible numbers. And I think you'll have a successful meet regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to be a champion, you want to be a world Olympian, and all this other good stuff, you have to have those tendencies too, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're doing the work. You can't be laying in the bed and say, "Oh man, I want to be the Olympic 100 meter champion." You laying in the bed eating a Big Mac. No, it don't
All
work like that.
right.
So you got to get out there and make sure you write your goals down. Stick to your goals. Stick to your goals 100%.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on recruiting? Because I'm seeing now, because I'm more active on Twitter. It's a lot of coaches on Twitter. It's loads of recruiters and coaches on there. But anyway, I'm still seeing 20 class of 2024 still not signed. I get messages almost every day from coaches and recruiters that are
Mm.
still looking at athletes. They got money to give. So what's the issue? What's the
So
issue? Is it D1 a bus or?
yeah. I think kids gravitate towards what's in front of them, and what's in front of them is the big box, I guess you can call schools, and those are the ones that have the resources, that have the money, all those things. But you also have a lot of schools that have equal opportunity, equal resources, but because you never heard of them, the kids feel that's not name brand.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some athletes that I've experienced that want to go to certain schools because of the colors, that want to go to the schools because of the resources that they're going to receive or the image that they can uphold. And the reality is, this is your life. You should be looking towards, how can I have more of a great experience? Do you want to go to this top tier D1 school, says on paper, to be a walk on and pay $30,000 per year? Or do you want to take this full ride to an NAIA school and be the face of the program? It just depends on what you're
Yeah.
looking to achieve. And I think if you really ask yourself, if you're an athlete, ask yourself, what do I want out of the college experience? If you're looking to go pro, then it's a job. This is your job. So stop being nitpicky about all these extra pieces. Does the coach have the resources to get you from where you are to pro? And then everything else is just a bonus. If you're a hands-on athlete, I call it a high maintenance athlete. Are you a person that needs the coach to watch every single one? Well, then you probably shouldn't go to a school where your head coach is your specific event coach, because the head coach has head coach
Mm,
responsibilities and then
yeah.
now has to manage this, right? Also,
Mhm,
paying attention to coaches that are multis and jumping event coaches.
mhm.
Like, ask them how they balance their program. Are they at practice all day, or are they there for a few days? How does that work? Because you don't want the coach stuck at pole vault while you're high jumping.
Yeah.
It's having those conversations, but you don't know to ask those questions if you're
Mhm.
not aware of what you need and who you are as a person and where you're going, without having those intentions set.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, a lot of kids are missing out on opportunities because they haven't done the research of what schools are physically out there. There's 1,300 plus schools in the US, but yet they only, reached out to 2 or 3 because they're in their state. There's so many schools that same thing, call me, who else you got? I'm like, I got these athletes. And I ask the kids, and they're like, oh, I'm not interested. Hear them out.
Yeah.
Reach out to every school, elevate your opportunity chances, and then you can choose which one will be the best fit for you.
You exactly right. And I tell these kids without dealing with the recruiting stuff on social media, make you a list where you want to go. And in this list, don't just have D1 schools in there, right? You need to have D1, D2, D3, and let's be real about it, right? If you're not running LSU numbers, don't contact LSU, right?
Right.
I'm just going to be straightforward. I mean, it is what it is. Because the thing, and I know this for a fact about LSU, they get if your time is not in the top 20 of the national championship, the college national championship, if your numbers is not in that top 20, LSU is not going to call you. I know that
Correct.
for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to call you. Right? So let's be real about that. If you close to those numbers, right? Do your research on the numbers, the conference, SEC, wherever you want to go, Big 10, wherever, Big 12, whatever. Do your research. If your numbers are not in there, either work on it or choose another school. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start looking at D2, D3, because there's some good coaches, man, in the
There's a
D2,
lot.
D3, NAIA, JUCO, it's Fort Scott. Man, it's some good coaches out there. They can get if you want to go D1, you might not can go right then. Sorry, coach, I get on my soapbox.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah.
If you're not ready to go D1 right then, get somewhere where this coach can get you ready. Right? Do your research on the coach. Tell this coach what your goal is, so he can get you there. Right? Just don't keep sending messages to Texas Longhorns, and you know you're not ready. It's not going to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can get that. You can get that. But that's my thing. So make your list. Um, multiple divisions, D1, D2, D3, whatever.
Mhm.
And this is very important. And I'm gonna let Coach talk in a minute. I get on this. This is very important. The coaches that respond to you, that's the ones you need to be responding back to, right?
Mhm.
If you send out 10 emails and one, two schools, this coach is responding back to you, he's interested in you, that's who you need to respond back to. Don't keep emailing these other 8 schools you ain't heard from. You want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
going to work, but because if these coaches, if they're emailing you, if they texting you, they see something in you, right? And a lot of times it's just some small stuff they got to critique. They already know. They can see your video like, man, I can fix that.
Mhm.
I can fix that.
Yeah.
I can fix that. She come here, I fix that. And next year, he or she can go D1 where she
Yep.
want to go, right? But it's very important. The coaches that are reaching out to you, those are the ones you need to be interested in.
Yeah.
It's real simple. Don't waste your time reaching out to schools and coaches that's not calling you back. You're just wasting your time. These coaches, they get about 300 emails a day.
A
But
day.
go ahead, coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
echoing that, um, right now, what I see is athletes are afraid to promote themselves if they already if
Hold
they're
on.
not at the marks that they're at.
Hold on, because we got a question. We got a comment
Okay.
on IG.
Okay.
It says, Coach 84, I disagree with the assertion that if a head coach is a event coach, that's a red flag.
It's a what? Oh, you disagree with that point? Okay.
He says it's a red flag if the head coach is an event coach. What do you think?
He says he thinks it's a red flag if the head coach is a
Yeah,
or he's
if the
just
head, yeah, if the head coach is like the individual coach too. He said that's a red flag for the school. Is what I get out there.
I
Is it
think
a
it
bad
is.
school? What do you think?
I think it is, but we're also dealing with money. That's a money thing. It's
Uh-huh.
maybe in order to keep the actual program alive, you have to have a coach who does three different things. So it's like, if that's the reason, then it's not a red flag. It's a go for me because we want to keep track and field alive. And a lot of these programs are looking at just the numbers, the cost to have the program and their risk reward, or like the ROI on their investment. And, so I would prefer, correct, like if the coach is wearing too many hats, then and I'm an athlete and I need the coach here with me, then yes, that's where it's like I would want to make that decision ahead of time and ask those hard questions. Coach, I see that you're the head coach and you have a 2-year-old at home and you're in my specific event coach. Do you have the time and how would my schedule fit even though I'm in these classes at these times?
Mhm.
And ask the question, you know, and they'll be able to tell you yes or no. And you'll be able to decide whether that's a valid answer or not. It's your job as an athlete being recruited is to vet the coaches, vet the programs. You
Yeah,
know, you know what you offer,
yeah,
and they're going to tell you what they can offer, and whatever meets in the middle is where you can start to negotiate and talk about those things. But
yeah.
yeah.
He was saying also ask, make sure you ask questions. That's what we was talking about.
Mhm.
But with Coach 84, we got hey, I blowing up right now. Goodness.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so Coach 84, he was saying he disagreed that he said it's still a. I got it backwards. He said it still could be a good school if the head coach is the event coach.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, so we got Sir Bun had the transfer portal impacted high school recruiting. Ooh,
Yep.
yeah. Go ahead.
The the impact that it's had is tough because when you have an athlete who's already gone through the first year of college and shows that they can adapt to this college system, has the strength, then you have another athlete who's a high schooler just coming out, you don't have any data on them on how they're going to receive the college program. You know, an athlete that's a sophomore or junior that's transferring out, or a graduate, and a freshman coming out, you know, with the freshman, you got to spend some time developing them to have them get used to the college system, the program, the travel, all those things. It's actually safer to recruit a college athlete out the portal when it comes down to the business side of track and field, because they're more of a turnkey athlete. When it comes down to the freshmen is, or the seniors in high school, you're having to compete against athletes that are 2, 3 years older that have marks just to get into the school. So it's tough. It's tough now because you might have some college coaches that are recruiting you. All of a sudden, the portal opens up and there's 8 athletes that are available. So now the seniors competing against those 8 athletes that have the same marks or better, which is a big challenge.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough for the high schoolers because if you're looking for a scholarship, like you said, if you're looking for a full scholarship for any D1 school, you need to be able to make the podium at NCAA championships
Yeah.
as a senior in high school. So odds are it's going to be an uphill battle. It's possible to make happen, but you get to be, one of the top so many in the nation to make that happen.
Yeah. So Vaughn, you get that on IG, guys. If y'all come back in IG, I think it closed down, but it's back up now.
Okay.
We got another question here. How do
Yeah.
you handle the athletes you coach in high school? I'm noticing a lot of coaches don't want to help, which causes the athletes to have to practice twice. So you pretty much out.
Uh,
You Let me read that again. You got that?
yeah. So what I'm
Uh,
hearing is, how do I handle athletes that feel they're not getting the resources they need at their high school? So they're going to a club and doing double practices.
yeah, or going to a trainer or something.
Trainer. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so what I noticed from my experience was my triple jump coach in high school and my head coach in high school were teachers. There was an English teacher and a history teacher, and their full-time job was a teacher. And so when it came to event specific training, they knew some basics, but didn't know the next level of support for me. And I happened to be athletic. It was great, but I just didn't get the knowledge that I needed until I got to junior college, where those coaches were full-time coaches. They didn't teach at the school. So I made up this story in my head that I'd rather have a professional coach versus a full-time teacher. Not saying that full-time teachers can't coach. What I'm just saying is I want to share that time with someone that their whole life is around seeing jumps, seeing sprints, like studying and all those things. Just kind of how you would assume if you have a professional coach, that coach is a professional full-time coach. So the hours inside of coaching will be more supportive from my perspective, right? And so I've always been a full-time coach. And so when I went into the high school section, I was already a full-time coach. So I was able to speed up the development process simply because of I had seen so many and corrected so many athletes that it was just, I was ready. I wasn't trying to figure out my program. So when it comes down to the kids and having to double practice, it's tough. I have to manage so many things. I think that's what he's asking. How do I manage that? Is I fill in the gaps. So if the kids come to me and says, we just ran 400s today, I'm like, okay, how do you feel? I feel okay. Well, you're not going to feel good tomorrow and you have a meet on Friday. So let's work on just setting up your race strategy. Let's work on your first setting your blocks up, make sure you're at the correct angles without having to physically run. If you're a hurdler, let's work on hip mobility. Let's work on the flexibility. I just find whatever gaps there are for that day and we work those things. Or it could be their mentality. Let's actually walk through what this track looks like and how you're going to set up and what direction you're going to be jumping or running. Like those little things. I just fill in those gaps. Or they just might need someone to talk to. Come to practice. We'll chop it up. We'll get you cleared. Let out whatever frustration you have and we can move forward. So it really comes down to just balancing whatever's going on, whatever they're getting with whatever they need, and balance those two things out.
Yeah. I agree. Hey, what's up, Coach? That's my guy right there, Coach
Mhm.
Cody. He said trainers will focus on the skill um, part of it. Um,
Yeah.
and it is this is a touchy subject, man. You know it. You know it. Coach Carlos know it. Um, Now, high school is it's some good high school coaches out there. I
Mhm.
can tell you that for sure. Um, but some of them don't have as much experience, and they're not qualified to train elite athletes, right? So what needs to happen? A parent needs to get involved, right? Listen to your kid, right? If they feel, because the kid is going to know, oh, everything's good, coach. Good to see you, coach. Good to see you.
Mhm.
If the kid don't, because they know what they got to run against, right? Especially down here in Texas relays, right?
Mhm.
Kids is gonna know if they read or not before they even leave to go. So if the kid is not getting the training they need, just look for signs, and you're gonna have to figure it out, right? You're gonna have to get with that coach, see what's going on. If you need additional training, go ahead and reach out to get that additional training, right? Um, that's going to be on you and that high school coach. So, because some high school coaches they don't want you to get an additional training, but some do. But that's something you're gonna have to communicate between both of y'all, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, this is the way I look at it. You welcome, Vaughn. Like you said, good job, coach.
Thank you.
Um, at the end of the day, guys, we got to do what's best for these kids, man. If you're not qualified, you got this kid coming from middle school. And this girl here is, she done ran 11.5, 11.6 in eighth grade. And this is your first time. You just got all that to school and you just took this coaching position and you could be a football guy. You don't know much about track, right? You need to go to that parent and be like, hey, she's a different type of athlete. I can only do what I can. This is what I can show her, but you might need to reach out to some more resources to get her what she needs, right? Because athletes like that, they don't come around often, but when they do, man, you got to get them trained up. You got to get them trained up. What do you think? What do you think?
There's a lot of layers to it. So what I see often, like you just said, when the stud comes on your team, right, shows up running 11.5, the coaches get excited and they say, okay, 11.5 girl, what does that mean? She's probably going to run a 24 flat, 24 something, right? Then she can help my relay team, both 4x4 and 4x1, and that's 4 events, right? If there are other states, you could probably run another one or two. And what I look at is, if the athlete's goal is to be the best all-around athlete for the team, then she should be in all those events. If that athlete's running 11.5, I'm pretty sure she's saying, I want to go from 11.5 to 10.9 in high school. That will be feasible within that 4-year span, right? So if that's the case, then you should be planning out from a 10.9 back. Does a 10.9 runner run 4 events every single track meet? How many track meets do we have in a week? Sometimes it's 3. So we
Yeah,
might have a Thursday dual meet, the Texas relays, and the next Thursday another dual meet.
yeah,
But relays are going to have multiple heats,
yeah,
prelims and finals. So are you going to actually run your 11.5 girl down all these events, or is it training, right?
yeah,
At the end of the day, if you work backwards, would you have a 10.9 athlete who could win state? And 10.9 is going to be way better than just regular state champion. If that's the case, would you have an athlete doing that many events? But when they're freshmen, it's like, oh, we're going to train you. So it's just assessing. I don't know
yeah,
too many coaches that will say, I don't have the resources to train you. But there are coaches out there that will put the ego aside and say, this is what I know.
yeah,
So I think the big part is if there are programs out there, this a coach, I won't say his name, but he's a genius for this. He said, listen, I know a lot of these club kids want to bring their coach on. So I bring the kid on to the school and I bring their club coach. So now the kids are going to be wearing my jersey. At the end of the day, I want the kids to be the best possible. And if they're comfortable with their club coach, why not just hire their club coach?
Yeah.
That's what he does. And it works for his program. Some other programs say no because you don't want random philosophies, random trainers. A coach that says, I had a fast kid last year, so I'm going to do this random workout. And then it creates inconsistency in your program.
Yeah.
So I get and understand both sides. At the high school level, we also said no outside coaching. But yet I was a club coach working with outside kids, so I understand there's a conflict there. And it's tough. I don't think there's a real great answer other than, like you said, the part that is the seed of this whole thing is when a kid decides what they're getting isn't enough, the kid is always right.
Yeah.
If you have a rule, you cannot do outside coaching, great. That kid's going to go to another coach and come back to practice. And now they're double training. And the problem there is they're setting themselves up for injury because you don't know that they're injured or you don't know that they're running two different workouts. And so it's really important that, like, I know I'm on the national stage. So when I have athletes, I have to be very transparent with them. Like, look, if you're part of this team, virtual team or whatnot, we have to set some boundaries down about how training is going to look and have those conversations. And once that's set, we're able to then make sure everything's streamlined. And, some coaches may like it, some may not. But at the end of the day, the athlete's taken care of. And I understand that this program has to work every single situation because their team is looking for that. So it's a tough situation and there's no real answer other than athletes get to be very transparent with who they're working with and how their body's feeling, because if anything goes wrong, it's the athlete that's going to fail.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about that communication too. The parents, the athletes, the coaches, and the trainers, they all going to have to work. They all have to work together at the end of the day. And this might be in a perfect world, but they got to work it out. They got to work it out. So what's your take on mental health? Right, I know earlier we were talking about athletes get to that big meet and they get nervous. They're not able to perform. How can athletes handle? Well, how can they cope better with those big races? And what do you do as a coach?
Every Monday, we do a motivational Monday where I just give them fruit for thought to kind of consume, different perspectives, things that I've learned, things that I'm learning, epiphanies that I may have. I just share these things with them. And, at this point now, it's kind of the same handful of topics, but I also know I want to bring certain ideas to them at certain parts of season. When they're starting season, it's about being bigger with their goals. Towards the latter part of season, it's about adversity and, creating your desires and being specific with your goals. But I think the part that's missing is we train our athletes so hard, but we don't follow up with the same type of mental support of training. Visualization is huge. Having the tools to meditate and quiet your mind. These things are not relevant because we're so distracted. I remember when I was little, if I was in the car, I was looking out the window. That was it. Look out the window. My parents are driving. We're going somewhere. Now you got kids that sit in the car. They put their head down. They're in their phone. They put their head up. They're at their destination. That's 3 hours away. And so they're distracted with so many things, and it doesn't allow them to listen to these internal thoughts that are happening. And that's why now kids are popping up. All of a sudden they have depression, and it's just like, or they take a loss in a race and they don't know how to deal with it. Well, because they haven't taken the time to actually have those internal conversations. That's why I say, like, when you're looking to go to a college, what do you need? Do you need a coach that's going to coddle you? Do you need a coach to give you a workout? At your high school, what's working for you? Is your favorite coach the one that talks to you and plays around and is like just fun, or is it the coach that gets in your face and yells at you like a football coach? Like what's more receptive to you?
Yeah.
And by being able to voice that, it's huge. So having that maturity, taking responsibility over your results, taking responsibility over your failures is going to be the huge part. And I think the part that's the toughest with track and field is if you lose, you lost. And you can't be like, oh, well, uh, the blocks, or it's like, no, you lost this race. It's okay. Figure out what it was and then get to the drawing board and establish a new game plan, you know? But I
Yeah.
think a huge part with it is just being in the room with that emotion. If you lost and you want to cry, cry. Don't tuck it away, because now you're going to show it when someone eats your last cookie and they're like, it's not important, but you're really emotional about something else.
Yeah.
So having that resource, I really do say it's big to have a mentor, big to have someone that you can connect with, big to have a guidance counselor, just someone that you can voice these emotions to, whether it's your parents, teammates, just someone that have a safe space. When you create that safe space, you're going to find yourself in a just jumping and competing lighter. I've had
Yeah.
athletes that literally I tell them like, relax, chill out, just go jump. And then all of a sudden they jump well because they've taken the pressure off themselves.
Yeah. It's I mean, how many times do, and I'm guilty of it. Um, if your athlete lose a race, and you know they well capable of winning that race, how many times we go ask them, you good, it's you want to talk about it.
Mhm.
Sometimes they do need that, but sometimes we caught up, especially parents, we be caught up in our emotions,
Mhm. Yeah.
and we wanna, you better than that, yeah, nah, that's not the time to do it.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
the time to do that. Just talk to them, see what's going on with it. But yeah, mental health is big, man, and the amount of pressure that these athletes have, man, from it really starts in high school, man,
Mhm.
and it just goes, it skyrockets from there. Man, it's a lot of pressure on these
Mhm.
kids, right? It's a lot of pressure. So I would say, coaches, just make sure you keeping that communication open with the athletes. Parents, if you seeing something out of ordinary, make sure you reaching out to them. Make sure everything's all right. Because hey, I can't do it, man. Some of these stages they run it's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
man. It's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure, and you got to get together. Uh, Track it's mental, man. It's most mental than anything.
Yeah.
And when you get a chance, watch that movie Sprint.
Yeah.
Noah Lyles, he talked about that.
Mhm.
They like those pros, man. They go to the Olympic trials and all this stuff, and they stay in the same hotel with the competition they have to run against. They
Yeah.
got to eat dinner with They got to eat dinner with the people they run against. you know,
Yeah.
it's a mental game. So you got to be mentally strong. You got to be mentally capable. You know,
Mhm.
uh, but man, back. let me get back on schedule here.
Uh-huh. Well, I do want to add to that too
Yeah,
with
go ahead, go ahead.
so I've been watching Noah Lyles, Shakira Richardson, and the pressure that they're dealing with. And I don't know, because I'm still got to catch up. I know I'm behind to watching that docu series. Um, but I just look at the pressure that's happening, and it's like, okay, if the world is watching me, and I'm supposed to make it to the Olympic trials, and if my shoes untied, my block slip, how they did in her race, it's like, do you understand the type of adversity she would have to deal with people saying, see, told you she was a problem, told you this, told you that, versus no one talks about, I had to win. You know how much pressure it is training, and I have to win. If I get second place, every article says I got second place. I think it was her first race out in Diamond League. She had a bad race, But it's like that's her first race this season, and she's starting up late in season. Versus you look at Noah Lyles and he has this loud persona and he makes comments, right? And these
Mm-hmm.
comments, when you really do the research, he's actually right. When he talked about where the world champion situation, when he talked about all these things, you got to think about it. Noah Lyles is basically the best as of, well, top three or whatever now, but in the world, right? And you think
Mm-hmm.
about some of the best NBA players or whatever else, he's not getting anywhere near the type of notoriety that these other players, other sports are getting. But I get it, it's a money thing. But
Yeah.
it's like you have to believe you are the best to physically be the best.
Yep.
I don't even want you talking to, like, sitting next to me eating faster than me. I'm gonna eat faster than you
Yep.
because I'm the best at what I do. And it's almost like brainwashing yourself into this belief system that nobody can ever damage or take down. And
Yep.
it has to be that way because everyone has an opinion, everyone has something to say. And on top of that, everyone's coming after you because you're the guy that everyone has to beat. That
Yep.
pressure is stressful. It's a stressful situation. So that's not on top of just, I got to train. I got to make sure I get a good start. I got to stick with my race plan. No, I got to beat you because I just signed a $20 million contract that says I have to. you
Mm-hmm.
know there's a lot of pressure that's there, and I honestly don't know how they do it. Not even close.
Yeah. Definitely when you get a chance, y'all check it out. What do y'all think? Have y'all watched Sprint? Did y'all like that series on Netflix? I mean, I liked it, man. I was on X. A few people they hated it, but I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. But now Noah, he talked about mental health a lot, and it's the real deal, man. And I'm glad you hit on that. You got to believe you can do it. That's the first step. You got to
Yeah.
believe. Oh, you got to overcome all of that while you
Hmm.
there. And once you get to that stage where you got it locked in, hold it there, man. But it's a process too, man. It's a
Yeah.
process. It's a process, and you everybody loses. Everybody's gonna lose a race, man. I
Hmm.
don't know one person that haven't lost a race from when they was 5 years old all the way to Olympic champion where they never lost a race.
Hmm.
That's not everybody's gonna lose.
Yeah.
So learn from it. Learn from it. It's just learn. Now don't keep losing now. Don't do
Yeah.
that. You learn from that. If your drive fade, you came up too quick, or your block slipped, or whatever happened,
Hmm.
correct it on next one. It's normal, right? It's normal. But like I say, just progress from that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I'll put the questions down and everything.
Ah.
um, so I know some. I think it was Vaughn was asking about that transfer portal, man. Um, I just want to say this um, to the parents, right? To the parents who has class of 2025 senior, y'all in the recruiting process now, whatever, and 2025 and 2026, all those parents, I'm telling y'all. Um, in this recruiting process, when you go to these schools, first of all, make sure you research in school, right? Make sure you research in school. When you talk to the coach, you need to ask him, is this a transfer portal or do y'all get a lot of athletes out of transfer portal? Right? It's a legitimate question, right? It's an
Hmm.
uncomfortable question for the coach, but you need to know that, right? Because you have some schools that are heavy in the transfer portal. You have some that get a few out of there,
Hmm.
right? And you got some that really don't mess with it, right? But you need to know that from a recruiting standpoint, right? So is your athlete, are they going to be able to compete with these transfer portal athletes their first year there, right?
Hmm.
Because they are already experienced. So just make sure you throw that question in there. Write your questions down. Make sure you throw that question in there and ask the coach. Every single coach I ask, they answer the question, right?
Yeah.
But that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Um, do you think Jamaica is a threat for the upcoming Olympics?
Of course. They they're doing things right. It might be those plantains that they're eating, the good food, what I look at is when countries come together and they say, okay, here are our resources, we're going to pull all of our resources together. I truly feel that Team Jamaica is a full team. I don't know all the ins and outs of the program, but I feel that, when Usain Bolt made it a thing that you're supposed to run the 100 fast, then everyone bought into that. And now that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We look at here in the States, there's many things. There's beach volleyball, there's basketball, there's soccer. There's a lot of different things, sports to be distracted by. And that's why I say, some of our greatest triple jumpers and greatest high jumpers are playing JV on a volleyball team.
Yeah.
They're riding the bench and they could be a world class triple jumper, but that's just what we have. We have so many different resources. It's diluting our ability to produce the next level of talent. Now, we do have amazing, amazing talent, but we look at just the athletes who didn't hit the A standard, what events those were in, and we ask ourselves, well, why? Then you think about, well, some events they don't start that event until they're older, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, do we have the resources for that? There's a lot of speed coaches in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's harder to teach pole vault. It's harder to teach, triple jump, because you need certain resources available and also the experienced coach. It's a technical event. And so as we continue to develop, we'll get in a good spot. But I feel like Jamaica's in a great spot. And, I don't know if they have enough total depth as we do. But I mean, if they did, if they had the population size that we have, then I think it would be a flip flop when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of athletes from other countries are coming to the States to utilize the resources we have here, and they're going right back
I was just
to,
I was just about to ask you that.
yeah. So, I looked at some of the athletes that are being recruited, some of the athletes that are winning NCAAs, and a lot of them aren't even American born residents. So it makes it even harder, because now it's like you have the portal, then you have athletes that are coming from different countries to come here. And, I get it, because you want the best talent as a coach. You want, and you're expected to win, you want the best talent. So it's just like, man, now I got to go against more athletes that I don't even see on the list, because they're on a whole different list, or they were
Yeah.
semi-pro somewhere else.
Yeah.
A lot of the European athletes, they just show up and they fall and still win. It's like they've been developed and trained at such a high level from a young age. And that's where I think, if we start to bring some of the track and field money down to the lower levels, to the youth age, having professional coach at the youth age, then we're
Mhm.
going to start having more development there, which is why I choose to stay down at the youth level.
Yeah.
I could have
Yeah.
easily gone up. I could have easily gone overseas and whatever else, but it's like, I see that there's a million athletes for high school that run every year. How many of those athletes have professional coaches that were
Yeah.
also at the trials, but yet are still sweating for a week at the youth nationals?
Yeah.
There's only a handful of those coaches,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's man, you hitting on something because a lot of people forget about those international athletes. You start hitting that college scene when you start going that visit, it's gonna hit you real quick. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
where are you from again?
yeah,
Yeah, because we don't know, we don't hear about them. Yeah,
hmm,
but they're definitely at those colleges, and they're good. They're good
hmm.
athletes. But that's another thing you got to look at. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually um, forgot about that, man. I should did mention that for sure. So if you had put a 4x1 together for the Olympics for the women, Olympic 4x1 in Paris. Who you going with? Go
Um,
ahead.
oh man, I can think of three names right now. Um, Gabby.
All right.
Um,
What leg you got Gabby on?
I'll have her as the anchor, even though I feel like Shakari will be a dominant anchor, but I would really want to see her out the blocks.
On
Um,
first?
yeah, the
Ooh.
longest leg is that second leg, so I might even put Gabby there. Remember, I'm coaches who are listening who are I'm pretty butchering this. I'm a jump guy, so
Yeah, he's a
I'm
jump coach.
okay. So
You
um,
good, you good. You good.
uh, so I know that okay. So I'm just gonna say it this way. I'll take the ridicule. I'll take Shakira at the start.
Okay.
Um, who would I put that second leg? I probably would say TT Terry at third. Um, man, who would I put at second leg?
So you got Shakari on first,
Mm-hmm.
TT on second or third?
Third.
You got TT on third.
Um, I'm drawing a blank. Who
You
who
got
took that?
You still got Melissa Jefferson out there. You got
Yeah.
Mackenzie Long out there.
Oh man. Yeah. Probably McKenzie at that second leg. Um, I probably wouldn't finalize that order, but that would be my the pool that I would work with um, through that. I feel like I got eyes on me now.
Oh yeah,
but
I ain't worried about this.
but I would say that would be a strong forward that I feel is consistent. You
I'll
know,
go
there.
with
Yeah.
yeah. I'll go with first leg after blocks. I think I'm gonna put Mackenzie Long on that first
Mhm,
leg. So Mackenzie to TT on the second. I
mhm.
have Melissa Jefferson running the curve. I put
Speed.
Shakiri on last. Hey,
Okay.
who beating that? Hey, ain't nobody beating that.
Yeah. Once she's gone, she's gone. Yeah. Yeah. I
Ain't
probably
nobody
messed
beating
up that
that.
order, but yeah. Yeah. I like that too. I
Ain't
like that.
nobody beating that. Oh, let's do this then. Uh, you have to put together a jump squad. Um, three athletes. You can do male or female. Who would you pick? The
My
send
brother.
three to Paris.
My brother.
All right.
That's
All
that's
right.
one. That's
All
that's
right.
that's the Briggs name.
All right.
Um. So I'm on long jump. So um, I would say Dindy because I know he's ready for that environment. Even though there's young talent that's putting out big marks,
Mhm.
I would say the guys who already made it are proven. They did it. They deserve to be on there
Mhm.
as well. Um, and then JC Stevenson, um, he's a dangerous man.
Is it?
He's dangerous. Didn't have a good competition at the trials, but I've seen him compete many times,
Mhm.
and it's like some of those fouls he had were some big ones. And these are the American guys, so
Yeah, yeah,
I would say those three. Even though I'm leaving out names that deserve to be up there. Um, and triple jump, it was honestly like I'm old school. I wanted to see a healthy, you know, old school Christian Taylor, the one that I jumped against, the one that would trip and fall 58, 57 feet on accident.
Mhm.
Um, I was always a Will Clay fan, just their overall speed, the way they attack the jump. They both dealt with an Achilles injury. No one knows about Will Clay's Achilles injury. He quietly had it, came right back, no issues. Um, and then, man, I forgot his name. Who's the kid that won triple jump this year? It's
Um,
17 plus meters. Um, I like him. I like I like what he's doing. I like his speed. He's balanced. He's got a lot of strength, a lot of potential there. And yeah, I think those would be the top three that I think that would be it right now.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Yeah, that hey, that that for what's your brother name? What's his first name?
Kimani Briggs.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, his personal best is 8:22. Just he, I was there the first jump. He brought a speed that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, okay, that's the speed that's going to separate him from the rest of the group. And then
Mm-hmm.
got him ready to go for the second jump, and we just missed it. Just a little bit long at the board, and that would have probably gotten him second with that jump. And the third one, just trying to play catch up. Trying to play catch up was
Okay,
tough, and that's
okay.
how it is. You got to get that one out early.
Yeah.
You're competing against the world's best. You can't just pop off and walk away and be like, okay, I'll wait for the finals. Look at Tara Davis. She had a similar issue.
Man,
You
I
know,
was stressed. I was stressed out, man. Why?
man, I was yelling at the TV. I was like, man, Tara, don't let this happen. And I saw in high school, she had a very similar issue at,
uh,
I believe it was masters or finals,
mhm,
just battled fouls and was so confident. Like I can just like easily pop up 18 feet, 19 feet, but
mhm.
was going for the big jump and just had some trouble, but it, squeaked it out and was okay. But, but yeah, Jasmine doing her thing. She's doing really well.
We got to talk
Representing
about
Texas.
Jasmine.
Yeah. And I can tell she's so fiery, so competitive. Even though she's like, I'm advanced and I'm good, she was like, man, those 2 centimeters. It's like, just that much. But yeah, I'm
You
excited
want
to
to know what
see.
an Olympian mindset is? It's Jasmine Moore, man.
Yeah,
100%, 100%. She. So I think so. She's the first to ever do this,
yeah,
to go to the Olympics on long jump and triple.
yeah,
First ever, man. First ever.
yeah,
Yeah, she's the real deal.
yeah. The real deal. And
She's the real
I,
deal.
I feel like she deserves more press than what she gets from
Yeah,
California. Like I don't see as much press. Maybe it's different in Texas because she's from there, but not enough press. And I think if they were to give field event athletes more attention for all field events, all of them,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more attention, develop their character, develop their personality,
Mm-hmm.
I feel there will be more support and love. And it's just in the
Uh-huh.
States. You go overseas, like any type of field event, they are all over it and they're supporting it
Really?
and they want to be a part of it. I
Mm,
think it's just here in the States to where, a lot of tracks, the field events are off site somewhere or behind the
yeah,
stadium,
yeah,
because we're making sure that our football field is pretty,
yeah,
so we put
yeah.
the pit somewhere else, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Jasmine is one that deserves to get more attention. Tara Davis, she's out
Mm-hmm.
there. She's already, has her vlogs and everything. But if we give more attention to the athletes, I think it'll be huge for all field events.
Yeah. I think it's I do think it's actually getting better than what it was. We taking some we taking some baby steps, but it's definitely getting there, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting there. Um, man, coach, I got about 100 questions we didn't even get to.
Oh.
But it's been some good track talk. I just got a couple more questions too before we get
Okay.
out of here. And I already
Yeah.
know I'm gonna have to bring you back too, so we can do what we were supposed to do.
Right.
But inspired you to be a coach?
um. So at 17, I remember this vividly. I was in the weight room for basketball, and I had this feeling come over me and ask me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And my answer at that time was, I don't know, but I know I want to help people. 2 years later, I was a certified personal trainer. And so that was my like literal way to help people. And every single time I've progressed in my career, it's been fueled by providing resources and helping people. So I started Leap Squad when I was already coaching at Modern Day High School, and we were just beating everybody. And I was like, oh man, like I know this athlete right here is good, but she has no idea what she's doing. And so we would sweep the event. So I'm like, you know what? Let me put together a Leap Squad to help athletes out that don't have the resources that may want some. And then Leap Squad grew. And so what really inspires me to continue this is I've lived the long scenario. You know, went to junior college, was in junior college for 3 years. Took me 7 years to graduate college. I coached myself and was frustrated because I tried it on my own. If I would have had a second set of eyes or a mentor guide me, I know where I would have been. You know, so it's like, okay, well, I did it all. And I'm like, you know what? I did it all this way so I can give this information to the other athletes. So I think my gift that I feel is whenever I watch movement, I can see what's missing. And I majored in communication so I can articulate exactly the recipe to get you out of that situation, which is why I can watch one video and say, oh, do these 3 things, you're going to improve 3 feet. And then athletes reach back to me, coach, I just gained, 2 feet on my triple jump. So it's like I have those solutions. And instead of holding that recipe to myself, I put 1,000 videos on YouTube. Here's the videos. Here's the exact drills that I did to get to where I wasn't as an athlete and how I get my athletes developed. And to this day, athletes are still watching videos from 10 years ago, 7 years ago, saying, hey, I watch your videos, I improve this and that. And it's like, great. I love hearing that. And so now that's my selfish way to be able to enjoy track and field and be successful in it by being a part of their journey. When I get messages, I'll watch your videos all the time. I've already improved this. It's just like, thank you. Because that makes me, feel so much better about what I'm doing. It makes me re-energized to do so much more. So I guess that's my main thing, is just really supporting people. If they don't want it, it's okay. But if you do, I got you.
Yeah, coach, we appreciate that. And that's, y'all coaches, man, y'all do a lot. Y'all a big part of these athletes' lives, man, all the way until middle school, high school, college, pro. When they done, y'all still in their life, man. And I appreciate that, man. I appreciate what you do because because they don't listen to their parents all the time, man. When it comes back, I tried, man. I tried. But I just appreciate coaches like you, man. Y'all humble, man, and y'all do it because y'all love it. Hold on, we got a question coming in. Got time to take a question, coach?
Yeah, of course. I'm just hanging out. This is what I do. Just hang out.
How does a kid handle different technique training from school coaches and then from jump coaches?
Yeah. It's a great question. The kid gets to make the decision on what technique to go with. So I have this all the time. I have some coaches that say for long jumpers, go back to 100 and just sprint. And I say, don't do that. Set yourself up at a step, have a step count, jump from that step count. And, the kids are going to have to be able to make the choice. It's easier for me because I have the results. Kids trust me more at face value from the very beginning than they would a person that maybe doesn't have the year's experience. I understand that, but it's having a conversation with the athlete and explaining how and why. And the more layers of why, this is what I always say, but if you can explain something 3 layers why, then the athlete's going to trust you more because they understand what you're talking about. So for example, I want you to stand on your head. Kids can be like, why? Well, the blood flow and this and that, X, Y, and Z. Okay, but why? Because X, Y, Z, and I don't know the answers, but I'm making this stuff up because it helps increase this and that and get your blood flow, all those things. But if you complain for a third time, then the kids will trust in what you're saying. But if you say it once and a second time you say, because I said so, kids turned off. You just lost that conversation, you know. So what I do is I have the kids choose one or the other. If they're choosing something else, the problem with that is, why are you in my program? If you're doing a different one, you should do that one and then see how it works out for this year. But if you're reaching out to me because of the technique or form or whatever wasn't working, then you probably should try this one, you know. But what I also do is make sure that I let them know my goal is to have you be the best athlete for the team that you're on. If you're in high school and you come to me and I'm supporting you, you're that athlete for that team, but you happen to be mentored and supported here, and letting that coach know. So, you know I'm speaking from a huge bias because those coaches can see my drills online and what I'm doing with the athletes, you know. But for those who aren't in that spot, it's tough. It's tough. You know, if you're the high school coach and you know that your athlete's coming to you from a club coach perspective and they're bringing their kids and they're putting their own philosophies on, how would I deal with that if I was a high school coach? It's tough because now you're in a spot to where they're doing things that you're not teaching, and it's affecting the way that your program looks. So, man, that I would say then it will be coming down to talking to the athlete, spending the time to talk to that coach about what they're teaching them and how you can get on the same page with what's going on. But it really comes down to the athlete should be the one organizing this whole process. And what I did when I was at Modern Day and an athlete said, I'm already good, I'm gonna do my own thing. I said, okay, like, let me know if you need help. I'm gonna be here. And the great thing that worked out in my favor was that she did not improve the next year. And everyone else that she was better than beat her. So then the junior year, she was like, okay, I need help. And then boom, she improved a foot and a half the next year, another foot the next year. And she was now after the fact, she's like, I lost a year being on my high horse. And I was like, yeah. So I guess for the coaches, just keep doing your thing, keep developing athletes, keep the results coming, and the kids will hop back in line. If you're not producing results, the kids are going to go. They're going to find results. They're going to
Yeah,
find results.
that's a tough one there. That's a tough one there. Because that kid, they know. Let's say the kid go to you, coach. They know your training. They know your training is good, right? They've
Mm-hmm.
been winning. They win all the time when they with you. But when they go to school, we're not doing that. We're doing something else. That's got to be rough, man. That's got to be rough.
I get all of them. I get all of it. I get coaches that say, I don't want you going over there. I get coaches that say, can you please teach me how to do it?
Yeah,
I get athletes that tell me, like, I have literally every version of the coach that I have to work with, but yet they're still part of this, the team, whether it's virtually or in person. It's tough because sometimes the coach and I are saying similar things, but the way that I explain it, it lands better with the kid.
hmm
And now the kids are just gravitating towards me. And it's just like, if I
yeah,
put myself in
yeah,
the other coach's shoes, it's like, it's tough.
yeah,
But at
yeah.
the end of the day, if we truly care about the kids, is it really important? You know, because at the end of the day, even if, let's say you're a horrible coach and you hate that the kids are going elsewhere, but you're the team coach and the kids are
Mhm.
coming to your school and they're getting better. All people see is they go to your school and they get better. It, do you want to make it to where it's your program, or is it your idea to have these kids go to that coach to come back to
Mhm.
your team to represent your team?
Yeah, yeah,
There's many ways. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be competitive and I'd be like, I need you here, and I'm going to educate myself to get more resources for you. You
hmm
know, but if you don't say that, then the kids are going to do whatever they feel that they need,
yeah,
and these kids will move fast because they have the answers right in front of them in their phone.
yeah, yeah. You're right. I think it's about the athlete communicating. communicating that,
Yeah.
so they trainer, high school coach, and parent, and everybody just need to try to put it together,
Hmm.
see what works best. But yeah, I know it go both ways, man. I know you got some that say no, we're not gonna do it, and some jump on board, man. But it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
That's just how it
Yeah.
is. That's just how it is, man. You just got to find a coach that's willing to work with it.
Yeah.
If you want to go to that, if you want to go to that school and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a
Um,
tough one. It's tough.
yeah, it is. It is. It's a very tough one, man. It is.
It's different even like in ball sports because you might play basketball and then you're supposed to go get a shooting coach. You're supposed to get a weightlifting coach.
Mm,
Track and field, you're not going to run, a 250 ladder down and up and then turn around and go to a speed coach and do it again. Your body's shutting down. So
I think
it's
I think it's an ego thing too, coach.
yeah.
A lot of times, you got you train this young lady. She just going out there, jumping out the pit. Then she go there, she wins state and everything, and high school coaches. It's because of me.
Okay.
And I just think sometimes, man, it just be a whole bunch of ego stuff going on, man. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, man, it's for the athlete. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to work together because the ultimate goal is to get that kid into college to get an education first, and running track is a bonus, right?
Hmm.
The ultimate goal is to get your kid into college for an education, and track and field is a bonus. That's the way you need to tell your kids. Don't say you going there around track, you go be an Olympian, you go do this, and this. If it
Hmm.
happens, let it happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Hmm.
And how hard is it to be a pro athlete, coach?
It's probably the hardest thing you can imagine. To make an Olympic team, you're literally the best three in the US. Top 10, top three. It's tough. You have to live a certain life and
Yeah,
achieve all those things each and every time. It's tough.
yeah,
Very what as big what 7% of athletes compete in college, and then 1% go into the pro levels. You know, it's tough. And then one
yeah,
percent of that 1% make money.
yep,
So it's tough. Now you can make money doing other things, but to make money just from your athleticism is tough. And also with track, tomorrow you can be great. The next day your hamstring doesn't feel right.
yep,
You know.
yep. It's definitely tough, but
Hmm.
it can happen. But it's tough. If it happens, it happens, right?
Hmm.
But make sure you're taking care of the important thing first is getting that bag so you can go to college to get that education. And while you're
Yeah.
there, have fun doing fun stuff, running track and all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
whatever. It'll all come together. It will all come together if it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Just don't sell your kids on you go be an Olympian. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying that. But it's good to say it. Say it. Yeah, if you believe it, tell them that. But also tell them, hey, you're gonna get an education too, because that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's just how I operate.
Yeah. I always say something very similar with, when you're an athlete, your identity is being an athlete. And when an athlete stops for an injury or grades or anything like that, it's like, well, what else am I? You want to make sure that you're also bringing up you as a person along with the identity of being an athlete. Because I went through a depression. I think I called it a sports depression, but I think it's just depression. But I went through depression when I was like, I got to give up track. I don't know who I am outside of track.
Yeah,
So I realized that, and I was like, okay, well, who can I be inside of track and still be the track guy? Lead squad starts. So now I can still be at the track, still live through these athletes and still celebrate these wins. But some athletes are, when they're done, they're now a dietitian or they're now working a 9 to 5 or something. And it's just like, well, are you passionate about those things? So I happen to be an entrepreneur. So I'm still competitive in that space. but I just couldn't see myself behind a desk working because that's just my personality that didn't work for me. But if I were to think about that, it would have taken me to a different place. So what I say to athletes, it's not a backup plan. It's just you can be in track and you're going to get paid because of who you are as a person. So continue being a great person, because the reality is when it comes, like you said, to school, get your education, is let's say you go pro, you're ranked in the world, you win a gold medal, great, you're 35. Then what? You got 75 more years to live. What are you going to do? Keep running as a master's? Or are you going to contribute to this world in another way? If you love to read and you run track, great, write a book and run track. If you're looking to go to university, don't just say, oh, I run fast, give me a scholarship. I run fast and I have a nonprofit that benefits XYZ. I have athletes that got into MIT, Stanford, multiple athletes. And one athlete had a 4.8 GPA, did not get into Stanford, but got into MIT and Carnegie Mellon, right? And it's just like, well, what did they have? The ones that got into Stanford, one had a nonprofit that recycled pants. Another athlete had a nonprofit. Forgot what that one was. The other one almost got a perfect score in SATs. Like, basically what I'm saying is they came to the school not as a student. They came to the school with a brand already established to enhance the school itself. It makes Stanford look better to say, we said no to a 4.8 GPA athlete, but we said yes to the athlete that's doing community service of her own, not just tagging along, but made an actual movement and community. We want those athletes. So you've got to be more than just an athlete. You got to be a brand. And that's what I help my athletes develop with that concept. So in my College Recruit 101 course, it teaches you how to build a brand. And when you build a brand, people want to support your cause, and you happen to be a recipient in that cause. Schools need you when you're a brand. They need the brand to push, and they'll support the brand versus just supporting the athlete. That's why it's hard for a lot of athletes to get these sponsorships, because you might not be here today. You might not be here tomorrow. Like, you don't know. But if it's a brand, they'll fund that brand. Texas, UT, that's a brand. With Tara Davis or not, they're still pumping out athletes. Well, I'm going to put my money and invest and donate towards that program so it can support athletes that want to go there. Make yourself a brand, get yourself out there in front of the public, have a cause, affect the community in a positive way, and build your following, and they will have to recruit you.
So you dropping some gems, right? I hope parents, I hope you listen. I hope the athletes, coach, upset. That's some good stuff right there.
That felt
I'm
pretty
telling
good.
you, and athletes, start building your brand now, right? Start doing it now. It's not too late. It's not too late. If you're a senior now, you're a junior, whatever. If you're a freshman going into college, start building it, right? Because like Coach was saying, it's going to open a lot of doors for you, right? It's going to
Yeah.
open a lot of doors. If you can, this is the NIL book here. If you're interested in NIL, go on Amazon, put it in NIL made easy. This is an easy read, right? And then give you some pointers on building your brand and all that good stuff, right? But let's be smart about it. You want the big NIL deals and stuff like that. Read up on it and start doing it. But Coach, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's I'm glad you mentioned that because that brings value to your stock. That brings value to your stock.
Mhm.
Then like when you go to these schools, they already have some NIL stuff in place. If you got a following already, once your NIL store is set up and everything, and you post it or whatever, people are gonna buy from it
Mhm.
because they already follow you. They like you, right? And it grows. It grows, grows, grows. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good, that's good stuff there.
I could have
Uh,
easily made Keenan Briggs Track Club, but I was like, no, let me make it bigger than me. So
yeah.
now if I wanted to move and develop other coaches to replace me, it can continue. You know, there are coaches out there that say, I want Leap Squad athletes on my team. I want major impact athletes on my team
Yeah.
because they know that the athletes who show up are going to be of a certain character,
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
know? So it's just really important to establish that. And once you have that, it's so much easier to land these deals, to get into these schools because they need you.
Right. And they look at the followers. They
Mm.
look to see who you got followed, how many followers you got. Yeah. So it's all a part of it. Yeah, you got some gems on that. You got some gems. All people listening. Especially like the youth athletes, man, eighth grade, under, whatever. Hey, start. I see it a lot though. I see more of it going on now, which is good. Start building it. Start building it. Sure. Uh, Cole, you got anything else you wanna
No, I'm just
get out
super
there?
excited for nationals coming up. Next year, I'm already changing some things. Leap Fest is going to be bigger and better than ever. This year, I feel like I've gotten it to as far as I can get, as big as I can get it. But now I'm going to reach out to external resources to get this at the next level. I'm also creating resources for athletes post high school that they can utilize. I won't go into detail, but I'm creating resources for those athletes and just continuing to offer resources for all athletes. If you're looking to learn how to long and triple jump, well, I have my Jump 101 course that just breaks down all the basic information so that you're not confused and you can learn on demand. Just the college recruiting situation, the virtual team, which has international athletes, just resources available to where, if you feel like you're lost, I literally have a resource for you to help you just gather more information, new perspectives, and help you grow. Because every message that I get, an athlete's either dealing with lack of confidence or a lack of knowledge. And so the knowledge and information is there. The free stuff is on YouTube. The paid specific stuff is on my leapsquadacademy.com.
Nice, 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 nice. Um, so you're more active on IG, right? Is the IG?
Yeah,
Are
I'm trying to
you
get more active on YouTube, but
okay?
I don't want to sound like I'm busy, and so I'm just so busy. And on top of that, too, like my daytime
Yeah.
is filled up with me supporting the virtual team athletes.
Uh-huh.
And in the evening, I'm with the in person team. So I'm more active on Instagram. Yes, I'm trying to move over to YouTube again because the information is there forever versus I post today and then I post 10 more times and that post is gone, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm just creating more resources. I do have I answer a question, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, go live, my track talk live. And I do that. I'm going to keep that going, just answering random questions. Sometimes it's track and field specific. Sometimes it's more about mentality or just keeping you prepared. But, that's on there as well. And yeah,
What's your YouTube handle?
Keinan Briggs.
What's your name? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me type this in here so people can see it.
Yes, at Keinan Briggs for everything. And I'm going to start building the Leap Squad track club, not Leap Squad Academy page. But yeah, that's YouTube and Instagram are those ones, Keinan Briggs. And you can find everything else from there.
Yeah, guys, y'all go there, hit that subscribe button on his YouTube channel, and go to IG, X, everywhere. Just put in Keenan Briggs, everywhere you go on social media. Go
Mhm.
follow him. But go ahead and head over right now to YouTube and get that done. He has videos on there. You say you had training videos on there too? On
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah,
Train,
everything.
yeah, training
Everything.
videos on there. But yeah, go support them and be out for the Leap Squad upcoming things. Gonna have a jump clinic in the future and stuff like that. He like to come to Dallas and not holler at me, but that's fine. I'm not
I
going.
got you. I got you. Because you're right. You're right.
I
I
see your
didn't.
picture, man. I said he's down the street from me. Yeah. I'm good. I'm just playing. I'm just joking with you. But hey, guys, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that follow button and subscribe button for Coach Briggs. But Coach, have you got one of these trimmers yet? Sexy track pad trimmers. Have
What is
I gave you
that?
one of these yet?
Uh-uh.
This is a trimmer. So this is for you. Just I'll get with you after the show, whatever.
Okay.
Get the shipping address. So this is a hair trimmer.
Okay.
Uh,
I know I need a line of need a little. I'm getting one tomorrow morning
you
because I got
fresh,
the
though. We
national.
still fresh. We still fresh. But yeah, so shout out to TTFCA. They make this possible to give these out to the coaches that come on my show. I got one
Nice.
for you. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
But great show again, and definitely got to get you back because we didn't hit none of the questions. We hit some of them, but not much. Very good show. Right now, you're well over about like 100 and close to 200 viewers right now. And
Hey
hey,
y'all.
yeah. Hey guys, we appreciate it, guys. We appreciate all the love. Any shout outs before we get out of here, Coach?
Carl over at Track Barn for keeping us fresh, keeping our drip
Oh my
fresh on
God.
the track.
Oh my God.
VS Athletics, they're doing a great job with supporting Elite Fest and being there for the kids, and just everyone who follows me, everyone in the track and field community looking to do more things. All the trainers, all the coaches do so much. No one really understands what a college or a high school or youth track and field coach does, especially the coaches that don't have kids on the physical team. They're literally sacrificing so much. So just make sure you thank your coaches. This coming weekend, I'll be at Texas A&M for nationals. Come say hi, and just let's have fun, let's compete, and let's just enjoy this whole experience and be ready for the Olympic Games. Let's cheer and make sure that the channels are clear to see and watch and support. And honestly, DM your favorite athletes and tell them great job, because you don't understand the impact that message does for the athletes. If they won or if they lost, just DM me like, hey, I watched you this weekend. You did a great job. I'm proud of you. That will 100% change their attitude and their life. And we saw what happened at the trials. A lot of athletes had issues, and some athletes, I believe there was one athlete that I think, offed himself. I don't want to say the full word,
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, it's tragic, and it's tough. So just communicate with them, tell them, good job, I'm proud of you. Even after you didn't make a trial, the team, just, hey, I'm proud of you. Trust me, that goes a long way. So
Yeah.
just spread love, continue to keep the love going, and just, yeah, just be
I,
happy and
I
spread love.
I actually do that all the time. I haven't heard back from Shakira yet, but I'm still waiting.
Her team will get back to you.
But yeah, I actually got a response from a couple. I'm like, oh wow. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you never know, man. You never know. That does help them.
Hmm.
They deal with a lot out there. They
Yeah.
deal with a lot. But hey, amazing show again, man. It's still people still coming in here. But guys, I will definitely get Coach back again. We're almost at 2 hours almost, and it went by so fast. And we have so many questions we can get to. So we'll definitely do a better job to stay on schedule. But I do feel we did answer a lot of questions. We gave out a lot of good information today that helped some of y'all. But guys, make sure y'all go to YouTube, follow Coach Briggs, then go over, follow Texas Track Dad on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. We're on LinkedIn right now.
Mm.
Every social media platform, go on there, put in Texas Track Dad, pull me up, go ahead and follow me, guys. I appreciate all the love. Also, tomorrow, I'm going back to back this week. So tomorrow we got Made Track Club. They gonna be in the building.
Mm.
It's gonna be fire tomorrow too. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be another good show tomorrow, guys. But once again, thank y'all again. We're gonna get out. Make sure y'all like this, share this, and appreciate y'all. Peace.